god, what the fuck? It's very loud. This game is loud as hell, holy hell. Do that. Is everything loaded? This game is loud. Like, actually loud as shit. Be peaceful. Masterpiece. Okay, is the thing here? What's the thing on this here? So I was trying out this thing tonight, but I don't think the bot is working. I don't think the site is working. To be quite honest with you. I'm trying to do something with my chat tonight. I can't see the bot, so I don't think it's gonna work at all. Okay. This game is very loud. Highly loud. Okay. I think I'm good. I think I'm ready. I think my stream is good. This stream is not going down tonight. At least I don't think it will. I made sure my internet is a little bit better tonight. Hopefully. Hopefully things will be a little bit better tonight. It will not go down while I'm on my PS5. Okay. Let's enjoy cinema. Cinema. My god. Well, I'm afraid we're all getting old. This game is 10 years old this month. March 20-something of this month. I'm playing it now because my PS Plus is running out in a couple days, and I ain't paying for that shit right now. And before I do that, I would like to play this game online. I have not played this game online in years. So, long story short, this is technically my first From Software game that I tried to beat. The first one was actually Dark Souls, but this was the first one that I tried to beat. I backtracked 10 years ago, after From Software releases Dark Souls 2, Dark Souls 1, Demon Souls, and if you're a really hardcore fan of their games, you're usually playing Armored Core or that really mediocre average like action game that they came out with that we will not name here. So with all those other games, right, then they have this particular title, this particular video game here that they advertise and come out with. And they come out with a trailer, and at the end of it, it says Bloodborne. You see the From Software logo at the beginning, you see the name at the end, and it's a very, very different style compared to what they were releasing prior. This is really From Software's only real attempt at making a full horror title. They had a VR game years later for PSVR that's kind of similar in tone to this game, but this is really the only one that came out that is a full-fledged like horror title. Horror is my favorite genre. I do a lot of horror games on here, survival horror titles on here, on this channel. So, this particular game is a bit special. I have become a From Software game, yep, a From Software fan because of this game. Although it wasn't exactly right off the bat, this game has had a history. I would say the history of it did not start off particularly great, but over time, word of mouth, online popularity, the Old Hunters expansion that came out later that year, ended up rising its status a bit over the course of time. If you played this game 10 years ago, it wasn't exactly the smoothest thing to play, because From Software optimization, even 10 years later, still is not exactly like the greatest. So this game 10 years ago on the base PS4 in 2015, man, wasn't exactly the friendliest experience, we'll put it that way. Not just in terms of the actual gameplay and difficulty of the game, supposedly. That's what, people equate it to From Software games. I don't look at From Software games as overly difficult. I never have and never will, because they're not designed to be that way. From Software games are designed to create obstacles in front of you to overcome challenges versus being just insanely difficult. And so the difficulty of Bloodborne when it first came out was not exactly the gameplay for me. It was the optimization. The frame drops, the frame time issues that are still in the game to this day, that a modder fixed, but they have not. And the loading screens, every time you die, it's about a solid minute every time. And it just had the logo on it, Bloodborne. Didn't have a wonderful graphic with cool stuff to look at every single loading screen. And a whole lot of repetitive dying to everything in the game. And it was an interesting experience on the base PS4, but over the course of time, the Old Hunters expansion comes out, patches come out for the game, and it's a bit better. We come back to it after a while, and I go through a whole playthrough of it, and by the end of it, it became my favorite From Software game, even to this day. It's still just the coolest thing I think they've ever made. Even with Sekiro, even with Dark Souls 3, even with Elden Ring. Elden Ring is a very important game for them, and is a very important game for a lot of people. But this game still sticks out for me, just because of that horror setting. I look at this as a horror game. It's not a traditional horror game, but I really do look at it as like a horror title. I usually play it in October for my annual playthroughs, but because this is the 10-year anniversary of the game's existence this year, I figured I'd do it in March. And also, I like to play online. since my PS Plus is about to run out. So, this is the game that got me into From Software titles, and this is the game that got me into an entire genre of games. Not just From Software games, but just the Souls genre as we know it. I really, truly, definitively believe that this game kickstarted the trend of a lot of Souls games that exist out there today. The popularity behind it, it's popular, it's cool to like these games now, and I think it all stemmed at the very beginning with actually this one, and then it probably built up even more so with Dark Souls 3, because that's a multi-plat release on Xbox, PC, and all that too. This is still stuck on the PS5 and PS4. And you can play it on PC through officially PS Plus live streaming. However, as great as the word of mouth and popularity of this game is online, Sony doesn't really seem to acknowledge its existence very often. What lately, they've been doing some wonderful teasers for it with some of their state of play marketing, cameos with some of their exclusive titles. They reference it once every few months now, but yet still no 60 FPS patch. A modder's already done that years ago for the PS4 jailbroken systems, and now for the PS5 jailbroken systems, that same particular modding group has done 120 FPS patch, higher resolution patch, fixed the frame time with one simple patch apparently, according to the modder anyways. It was one line of code to be fixed the frame time issues. So if you have a jailbroken PS5, it's really cool to play this game. On a regular retail PS5, it's stable 30 now. You get the frame time stuttering here or there, but you get some slightly increased loading times, although it's not using the full power of the PS5 because it's a PS4 game. PS4 backward compatibility on PS5 is very, very limited by purpose, by design, on purpose, because of Sony's handling of PS4 and PS5 backward compatibility stuff. It uses like half of the PS5 power, but you still get slightly increased like loading times, or decreased by like a second at most. And like I said, the stable 30. You can play this on a jailbroken console and get 60 to 120 FPS and higher resolutions, or lately, it's a really popular thing right now on this year with Bloodborne to play it on an emulator that's been in development for years, but it's rapidly increased the updates over the course of months now to support a bunch of PS4 titles, but also Bloodborne. It's a Bloodborne machine right now. To be able to play the game on emulation, it's pretty rough, but it's getting a lot better over time to the point where you can actually play this game on emulator if you have a good PC. You put the settings correct according to what your PC can handle with the emulator, and you can play it from beginning to end with 60 FPS plus or increased resolution mods to make the game look a little nicer, sharper, by getting rid of chromatic aberration, motion blur, stuff like that. So there's ways to play it outside of PS4 and PS5, but it's kind of annoying to put it together. So every year I come back to this game, I always wish for the 60 FPS. Never get it. Even if you gotta pay that stupid $10 PS5 upgrade, still don't have it. So 10 years later, and we're still playing the 1080p 30 FPS version of the game. So we'll see how we play. It's been a while. Also loud as absolute shit. I think everything's good. Worldwide or local? I might do worldwide. I'm curious if I get any invasions here. What save is this for me? No, that's one of my primary characters. And I don't know what the hell this is. Yep. I don't know what any of these are, but I'll keep all that. Alright, here we go. Welcome to online mode. Nice. Alright, it's been a while actually. Like, I played it last year, but it was really early in the year again. So it's been like quite a long time. I always fucking forget what I'm doing in this game.
Oh, yeah. Pale blood.
No matter how many times I've played this, I always forget shit.
Well, you've come to the right place. Yharnam is the home of blood ministration. You need only unravel its mystery. But where's an outsider like yourself to begin? Easy, with a bit of Yharnam blood of your own. But first, you'll need a contract.
I'll need a contract. That's what they all say. Another thing I really like about playing Bloodborne as well is the wiki pages. It's still, like, the older FromSoft games still have the wiki dot pages, but this is one of the few FromSoft games that actually has its own literal wiki page. Like, somebody, like a part of the community, like, put it together and made its own wiki page for this game. This game has a lot of incredible, like, preservation and documentation behind it. I don't know, like, I truly don't know, like, where it started when it comes to the popularity of this game. But whenever it did, like, it was the best thing for it. Because people put so much time and effort into, like, preservation for this game. It's actually insane. Like, how much time people put into it. So it's cool to always go back and, like, see some of the old school, like, wiki pages again, and some of the checklists, some of the stuff on Reddit, or just old school posts I get every time. Like, it's genuinely, like, a cool... It's getting to the point where it's becoming an actual nostalgia trip with this game at this point. It's kind of crazy. And in another 10 years, this game will officially be retro. So let that sink in into your old ass. But it's always cool to go back to, like, the wiki pages again. I don't know how much I'll particularly try to do in this playthrough. I like to do it like a full playthrough, which has been a really long time since I've done that, because that requires, like, the Chalice dungeons and stuff, which I've not done that very often. I've done it, like, twice, like all of them that you pick up in the game and do. So I'm curious to see if I can, like, do that. Excuse me. What is going on, bro? There's something, like, happening on my thing here. Alright, whatever. I don't know. Alright, what should we call this character? Old AF. What's my first character name? What was it again? Something? I think it was just literally Jeff. Or whatever it said. Let's say hi. Let's do hi. Female or male? Mature, aged. This is still, like, the older, like, FromSoft character creation screen, because you can, like, I'm, like, pressing in like that every single time to zoom in, and it's like nothing. But you can do, like, your appearances. What kind of appearances do I got? Oh, hell yeah, dude. Oh, different hairstyle, nice. Got a derpy professor. Whatever that is. Oh, there she is. Nice. And then, whatever that is. There you go, perfect. Man, it's been... Oh, we can give her wrinkles now, too. Alright. red. What was it? What did I have here? Just like whatever. And you got all these amazing colors. Totally incredible, yes. Indeed. You could be like Casper Ghost White over here. You can do all the skin color stuff. What the hell? Oh, the similar face, there it is. You gotta love the similar face feature from the older FromSoft games. This is like the Dark Souls 2 thing. I don't know, like... Come on, make it look a little different than what I had. There you go, she looks a little more derpy. Oh, there you go. It's getting a little better. That might be it. Unless that one is like that one. We'll do that one. Then we can do aged, where she just becomes green. That's... Yep, that's a thing. Masculine or feminine? Where back in the day, we become feminine by becoming more blue, apparently. Because that's something that we did. And weak or strong. Apparently a squished face means we're stronger now. Or she's just really creepily happy now. There you go, hell yeah. Facial balance. You got convex or concave. Yep, she's really happy. I don't think we can do anything. Can we do anything there? It's like barely moving. Hell no. Do the mouth position down. There you go. Oh, hell yeah. Yep, this is what you do. This is how we do it. This is how you make your ultimate FromSoft character. Oh, perfect. Looks amazing. What's the... Can I get something similar? That was kind of nice. This is really important for the playthrough. It's kind of like where I had it. That's good enough for me. What kind of hair do we have here? Oh, good lord. The hairstyles of Bloodborne are truly something to behold. Everybody always uses this one for their meme faces. I don't like that one. I want to use that one. And then try to fix up her face a little bit more. Make it like a little more normal, I guess. By normal, I mean, I guess that. I like that one. There you go. Amazing. Can I actually save that one? So we go from that to that. Hell yeah, dude. perfect. I can maybe do a different skin color too. Bro, my cats are going crazy, bro. What the fuck? Eh. Maybe we do that. And that's good enough. Alright, there we go. The process of making a character. Hell yeah. Incredible. So we're from that to that. It's the same skin color? No. Or you can reset and put everything to default again. And now for our stats. Whoops. Where will we do our stats? I'll put myself down there real quick. So usually, I do... What do I do usually? I think I do veteran, if I'm not mistaken. Violent past, trouble, childhood. Ordinary, happy upbringing, all attributes average. Average as fuck character. Lone survivor of Lost Hamlet. High life essence and vigor. 420 blood echoes, nice. Troubled childhood, suffered misfortune in youth. Highly resilient as a result. Terribly violent past, rash but stronger for it. Born specialist, fit for soothing or academia. Experienced in war, a soldier with strength and skill. Scion to a respectable line with faith in your pedigree. Faced terrible hardships but now confident in your purpose. And then waste of skin. You are absolutely nothing. Talentless. You shouldn't have been born. There's your BL4 character. And then, which one should I do? Could go crazy with Arcane. Blood Tinge is usually something that I don't use too much. Or I can just do like the balanced one. We do the strength build. The skill build with a lot of endurance. That's the most endurance that we have, right? Highly resilient, right? Lone survivor. It's basically to keep you alive. This was definitely, I think, the first one I used in my first playthrough. Alright, I'm gonna go over here. Pretty sure it's what I used in my first playthrough. It's cool to use like arcane stuff. Arcane is unbelievably overpowered in this game in a lot of things. I don't use Blood Tinge too often though. Would be interesting to use. Can't use it right away, but you find the items anyways. What do I do? Is this both skill? 13 or 15? 7, 8, and 6, 9. Let's do professional. I never do professional. Hell yeah. Cool. Away we go. Away we go.
Good. All signed and sealed. Now, let's begin the transfusion. Oh, don't you worry. Whatever happens, you may think it all a mere bad dream.
Drip, drip. By far, like, my favorite opening in a FromSoft game. Easily. You gotta understand that this game came out in 2015. This is before all the other super popular FromSoft titles that started to really skyrocket after Dark Souls 1. Even 2, even though it's highly contested, it's still a fairly big release. Like, this is the game that comes out after all those other titles of From Software's catalog.
You found yourself
This is before
a hunter.
Dark Souls 3 and Sekiro and Elden Ring. This is basically like the beginning of it all, pretty much. Where it's like, god damn, the jumping quality is like high with this fucking game. After Dark Souls 1 and Demon Souls and Dark Souls 2. Like, it just, the fidelity of the game. Like, this looked like a next generation title when you saw the trailers, and then you saw the game, and then you played the game. If you were lucky to be in one of those, like, what this version of the network test was for this game. I think they called it a closed beta or something. Actually, here, I think I can check it out in my own library. Let me see here. Oh, it's not on the library anymore? Oh, maybe it was a separate listing for it. Here, hold on. I know there's just a blank screen right now. But, god damn it. It's not in the library on my PS5, but on PS4, it was like some closed beta or something. I forgot what it was called. And, you know, the fidelity difference between Dark Souls 2 and Dark Souls 1, if you've only played on console, you know, with the PS3 or Xbox 360 with Dark Souls 1 or Demon Souls in the PS3, and Dark Souls 2, same deal, with the whole narrative around that game being that, oh, it was downgraded for optimization reasons. Oh, the different team of From Software is the B team of From Software, you know, like highly contested stuff around that game. And then smack dab, this trailer gets shown as a PS4 exclusive, and it's coming out in 2015, and just the trailer alone shows the difference in fidelity between all their other games prior and this one here. And not only is fidelity higher, but also over the years I think this game has really aged particularly well. Even after the releases of From Software's biggest titles, with Dark Souls 3, and then their little side title called Sekiro, and then their little big game called Elden Ring. Oh yeah, Armored Core 6 is just kind of like thrown in there, and no big deal. Now they're coming out with more they're coming out with yearly Elden Ring content at this point. This game still can match up to those newer titles, even after all these years, even after 10 years. Like, this is the beginning of a lot of their, like, movement-based combat, where everything is about movement and reaction and more movesets to dodge and remember. This is also the game that kind of became a little questionable with how enemies attack and bosses. Like, with every good thing that this game encourages, it did bring the whole like logic of RNG attacks from bosses. You know, stuff like that is a little contested, but I don't know. That's a pretty, depending on who you ask, kind of problem. It's not really a problem. It's just trying to innovate beyond what they did before, you know, with Dark Souls 2 and 1 and Demon Souls, with these bigger role-playing games that they've been releasing since Demon Souls. They've been doing it for years, literally since in the PS1 days with Kingsfield, you know, and then what is it called, Elder Ring in the PS2. They've been releasing role-playing games for so long, but on this scale, they've been doing it obviously since Demon Souls and the PS3. There we go. This is a fine note. But this one just took it up to a whole new level. So just like all the other Souls games, they have their own version of a menu. The inventory that are all really well sorted out, in my opinion. You toggle stats here, do controls there. Also, in my opinion, I think the UI is done particularly well of aging too. In my opinion, anyways. I don't think From Software UI is going to win an award, but this particular game I think does a pretty good job of doing what it needs to do, and very similar to that other remake a couple years ago called Demon Souls remake by Bluepoint. It's a very similar fucking sorting experience here. So clearly it's doing something right. And you got your wonderful stat screen with all these symbols, all these stats. This is a big deal, because before Bloodborne, it wasn't... I mean, I think Dark Souls 2 did a pretty okay job of sorting things out, but there's a lot going on in Dark Souls. This one's a little more straight to the point. Not as many things to worry about, not as many overall stats. Like, you have Poison, you have Frenzy, you have Beasthood, you know, physical defense, and whatever. Arcane, and the blood tinge effects, you know, reductions there. Arcane is like the magic. It's like the fire, the bolt reduction. Then you have the runes in the game. That does more cool things for your character. It adds like tributes to your character. So a couple nice things that they sorted out and put together from Dark Souls 2 and Dark Souls 1 and Demon Souls of the past. And then you got your wonderful, good old item to go back to the zone, like main area, main hub of the game, which is the Hunter's Dream. By focusing one's thoughts on this rune, a hunter loses all blood echoes but awakens afresh as if it were all just a bad dream. And this is definitely a game that is really cool with lore. From Software games are also pretty interesting with lore. It's very optional. You don't have to engage with it whatsoever most of the time, but this game, a little more straightforward, I guess, because they have like notes in the game world, and also just the overall like pacing of how you go through levels in this game. It kind of just tells its own story sometimes, with the visuals, with the enemies that you fight, and particular NPCs that you see along the way. The pacing of Bloodborne, I think, is very well done, especially the beginning. I think a lot of the reason why this game is as popular as it is because it has a very good beginning area. This beginning area here in the game is one of the best beginning areas I think From Software's ever designed in any game they've ever made. Because it's just really well paced out. It teaches you a lot. You get to see a lot, you get to experience a lot, you get to experiment with a lot of the mechanics. You got your same old light attacks, you got your charged attack that has a little light and sound there to let you know that it's fully charged. You got your linear level design, all the good stuff. Handwritten scrawl, seek pale blood to transcend the hunt. And just like the other Souls games, you have stats on your armor, and they tell you there for defense, blunt thrust, blood defense, arcane, firebolt, and all the poison, frenzy, and beasthood. Beasthood is nice. This we'll see for later. This is the very beginning. And we already were kind of glancing upon this. I didn't read it off or anything. Awakening to the nightmare of blood and beasts, perhaps its wearer had to stay out of sight and travel by cover of darkness without memory. Who will ever know? And then with not typical clothing for Yharnam, perhaps it is of foreign origin. It is said, after all, the traveler came to Yharnam from afar, without memory. Who will ever know? A faint memory recalls blood administration involving the transfusion of unknown blood, not long after the nightmare began. And then same thing really with the other ones. This one is always interesting. This one's a little out there. A little unique. This is also the game that popularized running into shit, besides like Dark Souls 1, destroying bosses. Now in Bloodborne you destroy everything. It's a great time. So yeah, you go from Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls 2, much more tankier games with a lot of different types of play styles, and then go play this game back in 2015. Like, again, put yourselves in the shoes of 10 years ago. This is the game that came out after you played the other FromSoft games, and you're like, wow, holy shit, this game looks a little different, it feels a lot better, right? Your sensitivity's pretty high, I can move around really fast, that stamina bar is not taking up too much there. You can jump. Oh, by the way, I think another thing in this game too, you can't, this is still one thing that they didn't exactly put it in Bloodborne, but you can't jump with L3. You gotta jump with circle. So unfortunately we had to wait until Dark Souls 3 for that one. This is also the game that, in my opinion, it did create kind of a slightly negative effect in the other titles after FromSoft released this one, is the variety of playstyles. Like, Dark Souls 3 is a lot of fun. Elden Ring is kind of just a hodgepodge of everything they've ever done. So I think that game is a bit exempt from this, because that game is just absurd. I mean, Elden Ring, you can do almost anything, but it does have a bit of an effect of Bloodborne's kind of design philosophy, a little bit, of like, there's not a whole lot of playstyles in Bloodborne. It's pretty similar from each other most of the time with what you want to accomplish with a playstyle in this game. Like, this game is, like I said, straight to the point, not just in terms of what we're looking at with stats, but it's straight to the point in terms of weapon archetypes. It has like one each like weapon in each specific archetype, or like 2 at most, or 3 at most in that specific archetype of, like, you know, a saw cleaver or a hammer or an axe. It's like a blunt, when you have like a couple blunt weapons, a couple fast ones, a couple dexterity weapons. There's not a whole lot of, like, it's not like 200 things in this game to use, like in Dark Souls 2 or even Dark Souls 1. It's more like Demon Souls to a certain extent, but even more kind of like straight to the point and kind of streamlined in that perspective. So the playstyle of the game is fairly similar, kind of merge into each other regardless of what you use. Whether you use a heavy weapon that takes a lot of stamina, whether you use a fast dexterity weapon where you can just kind of chop at an enemy all day, whether you use the typical saw cleaver, which is the main, you know, marketed weapon of the game, right in front of the cover that we literally saw in the menu. Like, it all kind of meshes into, like, you still have to be fast, you still have to play with agility, you still need to move around and react quickly, and make sure that you're not consuming a whole lot of that stamina, which you don't even need to upgrade stamina in this game, really, because then you used runes, which is like the skill upgrades, which is another cool thing about Bloodborne. You can literally stop worrying about one particular stat and just enjoy all the other ones if you wanted to. But, like, the thing I'm coming to my point is, it did encourage some of the nullification of those really tanky, like, turtle builds of, like, Dark Souls 1 or Demon Souls, where you can run around, not even run around, walk around, slow walk, and tank everything in the game and still succeed and still win. Can't really do that in this game. This game is not designed to be that way. It's a different design philosophy. So that's also a bit of a difference and a bit of a shock with Bloodborne compared to, like, all the others, you know, the other titles before it. That it introduced a different design philosophy. That Dark Souls 3 absolutely takes a lot of that. Elden Ring just takes everything, but it still kind of has that Bloodborne effect of it, of design philosophy is, you know, they make it really hard on people that do want to be a tank, do want to be a turtle again, do want a lot of defense, they want a lot of poise, and they kind of eliminated some of that aspect of the role-playing of their Souls games. A little bit. You can still do it, but it's a lot of work, it's a lot of effort compared to what you were able to do in the past, because the design philosophy shifted a little bit. It just shifted. And it was partially because of this game. So it was the positives of this game, my favorite FromSoft game, of the things that it does really well, that carried over into other games. It also does have some of that negative. It's kind of like Resident Evil 4, but with the Resident Evil series. RE4 is like an incredible, like, horror action game, and it's so much fun to play, and it's so much craziness, and the remake does a really cool job of, like, replicating some of that stuff too. Some other things are a little questionable, but It does have some of the negative effect of like, oh, RE5 happened and RE6 happened, and that creates a divide. Creates a divide because they're trying to innovate and change by doing a particular thing. As cool as some things were, some things are kind of like feeling like it's baggage. So it's kind of like with 3 positives that Bloodborne has, had a negative that came with it, so to speak. And so that's kind of what happens when a game that has a really big effect on people kind of lives on over time with their other titles afterwards. And they're still making highly successful games, and they're still the fucking like biggest studio in the entire genre, and they just released like their biggest game in the entire history of their studio. And it was a lot, in my opinion, because of this game. A lot of it. I really do believe that. I mean, like I said, I think this game kick-started the word of mouth of like, hey, From Software is really, really good at this shit. And then Dark Souls 3 came out, and they were like, wow, Dark Souls 3 kind of has like some of these things that Bloodborne had. Wow, holy shit, what an upgrade compared to like Dark Souls 2 or Dark Souls 1, or graphically and mechanically and all that. The camera's still not fully where it needs to be in this game. Elden Ring does a bit better job at that. But I think that's always going to be just an effect of like the kind of game that it is. But for 2015, man, on the PS4, this game was fucking it. This was the best game in the entire genre at the fucking time. Like, nobody came close to this game before Bloodborne. Nobody. Lords of the Fallen, forget that shit. This game was top. And it's been influencing the genre ever since. It's been influencing just a lot of games. Not just even in a genre, just in general. Ever since. You see the health mechanic in so many of these Souls games, and just action games now. You see a lot of particular types of like pairing with a gun, which is also carried over from their other games. You see a lot of designs that are I really feel like they are slightly influenced by what this game did and popularized in this genre. The reason why I love this game, on top of all the other things that I've just stated, is that it respects the horror genre extremely well, in my opinion. From Software has made one attempt to make a full-blown horror game, and it's right here. There's a lot of games in the horror genre that just simply do not respect the genre whatsoever. They come in with their jump scare game, and they have all the streamers and content creators react with yelling and fucking screaming at the top of their lungs in the corner of the screen, doing the most asinine, dumbest shit. And it's like the horror genre just is literally there for that quick in and out buck and the one-hit wonders for a lot of these type of games in the horror genre, and that sucks. It really blows. Because again, this is like my favorite genre when it comes to anything really creatively. As one thing that I'll always love about this game is that it's highly authentic to itself. From Software does an extremely great job of respecting the genre, doing a lot of great things with some of the creature design, the world design, NPC conversations that all connect very well when it comes to the overarching story that is entirely optional. And we'll dive into like a little bit of it, because I am not a lore expert by any means. That's fucking way out of my pay grade and way out of my league. But what I do know is some basics. And there's obviously lore experts that exist out there for many of years with all FromSoft games that you could easily watch on YouTube, easily watch on Twitch and do all that. But we'll dive into like some of the simplistic aspects of it, but even like the basics of it is extremely interesting for even a horror game. That's why I call this game a horror game. I do believe it is a horror game. It's not your traditional horror game. But the horror elements are way too hard to ignore, because it exists throughout the entirety of the game. And the level design, just walking down these stairs with that good old ambient sound that you've heard in FromSoft games of the past, where it just sounds like air and things happening around the walls. It's that sound that you hear in like Demon Souls, the original game, in Dark Souls 1, you just hear that You hear that in all their games. That true, just signature ambient sound that you've heard from their games for so long. And this is what Bloodborne does to you. They want you to figure this out with not one single weapon in your inventory, with not one heal, or whatever that symbol is if this is your first playthrough. They just want you to, you know, figure this out. Just figure it out. Horror. By the way, wow, did you know you can do that? Blood vial. And they can watch this guy, have no idea what's happening. So also a cool thing about Bloodborne is it takes from the Demon Souls logic of your punch does damage. And it's like really fucking good. It's like really good. You can just punch shit in this game, and then do the crits, right? Do the backstabs, or do the front stab, but it's a little different in Bloodborne. They take that philosophy of charging an attack with your melee weapon in Bloodborne, and being able to stun anybody, versus just parrying them with your weapon in the past, or your shield in the past, but your gun now, in this game. And you can do those crits, and you can learn how to manipulate the AI in order to do that. Like that, they literally teach you a lesson right here. Like, wow, you can do all those things. You're running around, having no idea what's going on with a wolf that has half health, and you're like, oh my god, what do I do? It's a cool way. It's honestly a really cool way in a horror game to teach you action mechanics. It's like, holy shit, I have nothing here. I have no materials, I have no weapon, and I gotta fight this bad guy in a horror game. It's horrible. That's scary. That's terrifying. But it's a cool way of like introducing the combats of the game, the combat and design and combat mechanics of the game. Just by doing that very simple encounter. Like, there's nothing crazy about this. It's just straight. This is very straight to the point. But that's what's great about it. Like I said, man, it's just the pacing and the start of the game. Now, unfortunately, even if you're full health, you can still use blood vials. So you always have to watch that in the game. And you get the right hand stuff. I thought you could read about the blood vials. I guess I can't do it right now. And now we can get the hell out of here. We out. Woohoo! Dead man. Got a whole lot of shit that was reused in Dark Souls 3 here. Closed by a device. Now your first opening. First glimpse. Central Yana. Nice pixelated bush. Hell yeah. I think Dark Souls 1 and Demon Souls have some cool landscapes, but again, like back in 2015, you know, you're talking about next-gen gaming and increasing fidelity of graphics and increasing, you know, improving sound design and improving mechanics and fluidity of the controls. It's like, yeah, this is fucking sick. after you play tanky Demon Souls and Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls 2. It's like, yep, this is definitely an upgrade. No question. And then this year, I think this was the year that Dark Souls 2 got a remaster with Scholar of the First Sin, which is everybody's favorite version of that game for sure. No argument there whatsoever. So I mean, this is when gaming was still being improved. You know, this is when it was substantial improvements. We're like, yep, this feels like a true next-gen game. This is worth my, like, what was it, $300 for the PS4 or whatever. Or it didn't feel like, oh, it's just like the same thing but different like we do nowadays. Like, this is when shit was improved. And it looks improved, and it feels improved, and it sounds improved, and sick. So you can learn early on that you can stun enemies pretty easily in this game.
Away! Away!
You got the health mechanic. Obviously, you just run past all this.
Away! Away!
Obviously, we're just trying to show off some things. Stop backing off.
Away! Away! Away!
I'm trying to crit you, you asshole. Okay, whatever. He's being boring. Ding. Hey, I'm looking.
Please, God!
There we go. Still yapping. Still yapping. And we'll just run past these guys. Whoa. Not awkward or anything. Teleports me back to the Hunter's Dream. See you, fellas. And look at the loading screens. Oh my god, that was like 4 seconds. 10 years later, we get to experience 4-second loading screens instead of 1 minute. Yeah, like when this game first came out, it was legit. I'm not even exaggerating. Like 1 minute loading screens. Pretty much every time you died. It was very close to that every time. With the plain old Bloodborne title logo. And that was it. Like it was rough. But now we don't have to worry about that thanks to the PS5. At least we can play at a stable 30. And good old Hunter's Dream. The amount of times that this has been remade and weird engines and redrawn 5,000 times on the internet over the last 10 years. Because it is a very peaceful place to come to in this version of a From Software zone area. You know, I think Dark Souls 2 is pretty good when it comes to Majula. This one's definitely a little unique. It's a lot smaller. Nice little peaceful track. There's a lot of stuff to look at and take from these guys. Messengers offer you a trick weapon. Choose one. Trick weapons are wielded with the right hand and employed in beast hunting. So we can do 3 things. These are our stats. So a good old saw cleaver. The very, very main weapon of the game that's mainly used. Saw with its set of bloodletting teeth has become a symbol of the hunt and only grows in effectiveness the more grotesquely transformed the beast. You can look at its wonderful stats. 8-7, DE attribute bonus, special attack. Got a durability stat. Whoops. Hunter Axe, 9.8 DE. Retains the qualities of an axe, but offers a wider palette of attacks by transforming. Boosts a heavy blunt, leading to heavy rally potential, which is like the stunning of the enemy, pretty much. And, oh no, it's healing, sorry. Healing your health. No matter their past, beasts are no more than beasts. Some choose this axe to play the part of execution. And then the threaded cane. This one's probably the most unique one. Sufficiently deadly as a rigid bladed cane, but also serves as a whip when its blade is split into many. Concealing the weapon inside the crane and flogging the beast with its whip is partially an act of ceremony, an attempt to demonstrate to oneself that the bloodlust of the hunt will never encroach upon the soul. This is probably the most unique one of them all. It's got C and skill, so it ends up being particularly well here with this character. So we have 15 right off the bat. Hunter Axe is cool because you can two-hand it or one-hand it, depending on what you do. And then the Saw Cleaver, it's just like the main weapon that not only the main character uses on the front page of the game, but also what most people use, because it is a very optimal weapon. It is the best weapon in the game, in my opinion still. Like, when it comes to its usefulness, when it comes to its versatility, the damage that you can deal, things that you can do with it, the amount of stamina it consumes, like, it's just the best thing for everything. Threaded cane is really cool. It's probably the most unique weapon in my opinion. It's not particularly all about damage, mostly about maneuvering around enemies and their attacks and doing cool shit with it. You have some flashy moments with it. Scaling well with this particular character with C bonus and skill. So we'll do the cool, unique, fun weapon. They offer me a firearm. Choose one. Firearms are wielded with the left hand and employed in beast hunting. So you only get 2 of these. So it's the traditional hunter pistol that everybody uses. Fly at 5 and blood tinge. Pistol made at the workshop. Hunter firearms are specially crafted to employ quick servo bullets infused with the wielder's own blood, boosting damage against beasts. The pistol is a quicker draw than a blunderbuss, allowing for speedier responses to attacks. And then the blunderbuss here. So that you see the blood attack going from 71 to 20. You have more durability with the same exact stats. So it's like, okay, well, why would you want this exactly? Right? The impact of this highly effective weapon counters beast's swift movements with its widespread, nigh on guaranteed to hit the mark. So this is a lot slower to use. It's fun to use, but it's definitely a lot slower. It deals like more damage, I think, when you end up upgrading it and you end up infusing it with particular consumables in the game. You can do some cool shit with it. But obviously you look at the stat and it's like, well, why the hell would I use that? Again, just like the Saw Cleaver, like, this is the best thing in the game for a weapon to use. It's just the most versatile, just does the most with everything that it can do. Just the versatility, really. It can handle anything in the game pretty well. But we'll do the fun one. We'll do the cool one that a lot of people don't use. Notebook received from the messengers. Leave messages with these loyal servants to share them with hunters and other ones. Then you got the messages if you want to use them. And you can do items here. The Molotov cocktail. Since the tragedy that struck Old Yarnum, fire has become a staple in beast hunts, and it's thought to cleanse impurity. Certain types of beasts have an abnormal fear of flame. We literally see that in the first area. That's why I said this is why this first area of the game is really cool. It's one of the best they've ever done, because it literally ties into a lot of lore that you end up reading on notes and whatnot. You go there, that's there, and there you go. There's my crane. There's my stick. Heavy attack here. And then to transform it, you press L1. Now it's a fucking whip. And it'll tell you in the UI with a dot that's that's below the quicksilver bullet. And the dot is gone now. And it goes back when you do it, and then you can do cool shit. Combos. It's pretty cool. And the blunderbuss is a big old shotgun. It's more so like cool to use versus fairly optimal, but we'll do some stuff with it. An abandoned doll. Go into the workshop. Good old wheelchair man. Storage. So we got a storage in this game for all these things. For chalices, blood gems, that are infusions for your weapons. Got other attire. And then you got attire for specific factions pretty much of the game. What would be a typical thing to say about all these things, like Vial of Blood, Church, Workshop, weapons, key items, materials, and consumables. Oh, there you go. Blood Vial. This one's interesting. Once a patient has had their blood administered, a unique but common treatment in Yharnam, successive infusions recall the first and are all the more invigorating for it. No surprise that most Yharnamites are heavy users of blood. And ordinary bullets. The strength of quicksilver bullets depends greatly upon the wielder's blood tinge. So it's literally a bullet infused. It's a pretty cool looking design there. Here he is.
Aha! You must be the new hunter. Welcome to the hunter's dream. This will be your home for now. I am your Gairman, friend to you hunters. You're sure to be in a fine haze about now, but don't think too hard about all of this. Just go out and kill a few beasts. It's for your own good. You know, it's just what hunters do. You'll get used to it.
Yharnam.
This was once a safe haven for hunters. A workshop where hunters used blood to enhance their weapons and flesh. We don't have as many tools as we once did, but you're welcome to use whatever you find. Even the dog, should it please you. This was once a workshop where we don't. You're welcome. Even the dog.
Even the dog.
Should it please you.
Even the dog.
This was.
That is good old Yharnam. And it's pretty well documented at this point that this mirror here would actually be used as a character customization tool. But unfortunately that did not make it into the final game. This is your workshop to repair and fortify weapons using bloodstones, which is like the upgrade material for the game. Upgrade your weapon so you can make it go do more damage and do more cool shit. And repair the durability. And you can do more later on once you get some blood gems. Oh. Workshop tool required for this task is missing. Got the memory altar there. To escape this dreadful hunter's dream, halt the source of the spreading scourge of beasts, lest the night carry on forever. So this is something we get later, memory altar, to be able to infuse our character with runes that you see here, and that's covering my face is covering it, but those runes basically become extra stats for your character, for boosts and whatnot. These are for chalice dungeons, and the cool thing about playing online is that we can do some online chalice dungeons too, which is basically a way to farm materials, rare blood gems for your weapons, rare runes for your character. They're very RNG based, but thanks to online chalice dungeons, people can share those particular chalice dungeons where they get those rare drops in the game and use a code to be able to input here once you get the required material here, and then go into that chalice dungeon and get the blood gem or get the rune that you want. That's very, very good for your character, and was RNG until that person provided you a code. So, pretty cool little dynamic of online play in Bloodborne. And it really sucks when you're playing offline and trying to do that. so pretty cool, but it's still like a cool idea behind the whole philosophy of that. And it's the first of its kind here in Bloodborne. They've definitely built up on that over time thanks to Elden Ring. Basically doing its own version of that in Elden Ring. A lot of the stuff in Elden Ring with like those underground areas, or those literal dungeons that they call them, like a good amount of those things, there's literally a underground section in Elden Ring that is straight up a Bloodborne Chalice dungeon. It's literally reusing Chalice dungeon rooms in that area there. They do that a couple times in Elden Ring. This is where a lot of that started. A lot of that started right here in Bloodborne, with the Chalice dungeons and the whole philosophy behind like farming stuff and doing it as a community together. If you play offline, you can still do it, but then you have to depend on like the RNG, because there are chalices that you acquire in this game. They're called rooted chalices, chalice dungeons. And those rooted chalice dungeons are the ones that give you the RNG items, but unless you get a code from somebody that guarantees that RNG item, because it's like different versions of the dungeon, kind of like procedurally generated stuff in later games. It's just you gotta farm for that without that code from that person. It's always got a cool background. Here is a, it's not a pre-order bonus, but if you had a pre-order bonus of the game, or you did something else to get this hat, you can get hats for the messengers in the game. In the game itself. I always have this one. I don't know what this one is. It's definitely not the pre-order bonus. But now your messengers, which give you all the cool stuff and give you all the messages throughout the game, you can put them in cool hats. There's hats that you can collect throughout the game too, in areas, to get more funny hats. And then we got a store here. Trade in black goes to buy and sell items. We got a pebble, we got useless crap here. And then we have the first real attire that is not the base one. So Ludwig, the first hunter of the Healing Church, once recruited Yarnamites to serve as hunters. This hunter's attire was made for new recruits and has excellent straightforward defense, but not nearly enough to allow an ordinary man to stand any real chance against the beasts. So Ludwig, based off of somebody named Ludwig. Interesting. That's how you read about a particular thing that you end up facing much later in the game, even after the game came out, because it's in the DLC. Some cool connections happen when you stepped forth into the Old Hunters DLC. When the game first came out, I would say that it never felt like Bloodborne was a fully complete product to me. It's a very short game. It's very similar to like Demon's Souls, but even more shorter. Like, because it just doesn't have as much overall like weapon variety or play style variety as Demon's Souls has. So for the longest time, it's a fairly short game. I always felt like it was like missing something, right? Well, the Old Hunters DLC was absolutely that something that ended up missing. And then that comes out and it's like, holy shit, yeah, this game just elevated to a whole different level because of that DLC. The reason is because stuff like this, what you're reading right here, ends up playing into the whole Old Hunters DLC and building off some of the lore that you read on the items itself. And I think because of the less variety in the game, it might actually encourage people who don't really care about stuff like this in FromSoft games, maybe actually engage with it more, because this game is really well with its pacing towards going into the environments, fighting particular types of enemies, the way they're designed, looking around the environments. The environments tell the story in itself sometimes, and then you go in to have NPC conversations around these environments. Everything is so well paced that even that small variety might help somebody who doesn't care as much about the lore, maybe actually still pay attention to it anyways in Bloodborne, because of that pacing, because of that tightness of design there. And it all starts with reading just a couple notes here in the very beginning with the items. It all starts to build off of that. And just like Demon Souls, they give you some tutorials here, not nearly as many, in like one big ass room or anything, but they tell you some certain basic things here. The messengers are delivering it to you. And they go away. You get the visceral attacks. Shooting your firearm will interrupt and stagger an enemy when properly timed. The parry system of the game. Hitting an enemy from behind with a charge attack causes them to stagger. Strong attack, stronger charge attack. Transform. Closed. Nice little field over there. Always pretty interesting skyboxes happening over there in FromSoft games. They got emergency quick silver bullet replenishment mechanic because it drains HP when you do it, but you get free bullets for your gun. So we can demonstrate it right now. +5, but your health is gone. And the +5 goes away when you teleport to a new environment. So you can switch weapons just like before. Use item and toggle items. I think the usage of items in this game are also really cool because you're not cycling health or really necessary items in Bloodborne. You are just simply filtering out whatever you put here, and health is not put here because it's literally a dedicated button in the game. That is always really cool in this game for me. Always really loved that about this game. Not cycling out anything. And the good old community just killing themselves and making themselves look cool with cool attire and weapons, as we always do since Demon Souls. I don't know why people do it in this game, but in Demon, like, you would kill yourself in Demon Souls because of the soul form and tendency things, world tendency things. Like, if you are in human form in an area in Demon Souls and you die in that area, your world tendency alters when you die. If you're in soul form, it doesn't alter. So you would literally off yourself in Demon Souls and the Nexus in order to manipulate tendency. And they've literally carried that tradition of just doing it because they fucking feel like it in every game afterwards. A lot of people are like, what the fuck are these people doing? You can always hear the breathing. You hear a lot of breathing in this game. A lot of very subtle sounds with the ambience in this game. Even though it's a brutal horror game. But it picks up. Because the soundtrack of the game is also fairly unique for a FromSoftware game. This is where they really started playing into like the big cinematic like orchestra stuff. Dark Souls 1 had some of that, but not as much, not as consistently. Dark Souls 2 has some of that, like in a DLC. Demon Souls had none of that. Demon Souls was entirely different. Entirely medieval. And the remake ruined all that. Thank you, remake. So this game was also a first with, you know, stuff like that too, like the soundtrack philosophy becoming a lot more big sounding. I like the sound of the lamp. It sounds cool. So we go back up here, and it looks like the door is closed. You can talk to somebody. And you can see somebody's definitely over there.
Are you out on the hunt? Then I'm very sorry, but I cannot open this door. I am Yosefka. The patients here in my clinic must not be exposed to infection. I know that you hunt for us, for our town, but I'm sorry. Please. This is all that I can do.
Sevska's blood vial.
Now, go. And good hunting. Are you still in need of something? But I have nothing more to offer. Please, try to understand my position. I can only pray for a fruitful hunt. Are you still in need? But I have... Please, I can only...
For a fruitful hunt. Also, another thing about the cane is really well with walls, as we'll figure that out at some point. Invigorates the senses, restoring a larger amount of HP. Oseska's Clinic. Its refined blood, highly invigorating, restores a larger amount of HP. The product of a slow and careful refinement process, this rare blood vial appears to be a Clinic original. And you can only hold one at a time, because it restores pretty much all your HP. And now we can play the game. And do the thing. And the wolf is gone. Everybody's dead. You can hear specters, these specters here, you can hear the notes, sometimes crying. That's why you hear that sometimes. I don't think there's any notes here or anything. I think we're good. So a lot of that crying and whatnot is from the pools here. Because why not? Alright, let's go attack these guys.
This time's finished. Come on, you.
That's pretty much the moveset of the cane. Obviously we're going the long way, but that's fine. That's fine. We can take a nice little road trip back up here again. And by road trip I mean climbing up the ladder. Well, you can see some areas in the distance that you go to later. Got a bridge there. A lot of coffins, a lot of rubble, a lot of bags, sandbags around here. And NPCs.
Oh, you must be a hunter. And not one from around here either. I'm Gilbert, a fellow outsider. You must have had a fine time of it. Yarnum has a special way of treating guests. Well, I don't think I could stand if I wanted to, but I'm willing to help if there's anything that can be done. This town is cursed. Whatever your reasons might be, you should plan a swift exit. Whatever can be gained from this place, it will do more harm than good. Pale blood, you say?
Pale blood.
Never heard of it. But if it's blood you're interested in, you should try the Healing Church. The church controls all knowledge on blood ministration and all varieties of blood. Across the valley to the east of Yarnum lies the town of the Healing Church, known as the Cathedral Ward. And deep within Cathedral Ward is the old Grand Cathedral, the birthplace of the Healing Church's special blood. Or so they say. Yarnumites don't share much with outsiders. Normally they wouldn't let you near the place, but the hunt is on tonight. This might be your chance. Across the valley to the east of Yarnum, you'll find deep within lies the old main cathedral, said to be the source of blood. I haven't heard of pale blood, but That's your best bet if it's anything to do with unique types of blood.
He literally just told us about the entirety of this area.
Across the valley to the east, deep within.
Cathedral Ward,
That's your bet.
the Healing Church. Because they're literally things that you end up seeing, like, almost in order. You must accept a wheelchair. That's a great fucking note, by the way. Fine note. Let's see the Spectre here. Where you go? Oh, he's back. Oh, he's back again. Man, that's it. Man, you suck, bro. Alright, here we go. We've made it to the beginning of the game. Pebble. We'll show a lot of the things here. So small pebbles, quite thrilling. Pebble. Yep. Pebble indeed. I wonder if I can hit him. Bro. Man, you suck. There you go. I used the pebbles. I feel happy now. Destroy everything in the game. See, as you can see, the fire, all the beasts being burned, and they're just standing around, just patrolling. Got nothing else to do. And now I got our first shield guy of the game. Look at him holding that little wooden plank. Yep. Bloodborne says fuck that. Can't turtle behind a shield in this game. Boom. A little shield guy. Beast. Here's a little shortcut. Ah, it's the wrong button. No! Why, he didn't grab me. I can't really, like, parry him legit. Because I have this blunderbuss and it's trash. I'm very dead. Okay. There's all of his attacks. Just showcasing some of his attacks, you know. He has a lot of attacks. You know, it's really integral to the game. I'm really afraid to parry him with his blunderbuss. Fortunately, Bloodborne is a little off when it comes to the lamps. Because it takes you back to the lamp that you previously were at. So it doesn't take you, like, somewhere else. Right? And you can't teleport to that, like you can in, like, Dark Souls 2. So it actually goes back in time with that design from Dark Souls 2. It makes it like Dark Souls 1, Demon Souls type thing again. It's more, it kind of reminds me of like Demon Souls again. That. Alright. We can't be afraid to use the blunderbuss. I gotta use it. See if these guys will give us some blood vials, maybe. There you go. We can show off that. Really knock them off. You would think like that's a hole there, right? He's mad. Use some fun combos. It's definitely fun to kill this guy early because where's my thing? Lol. I want to actually kill these enemies. They always drop heals. It's really easy to farm like heals in this game. Where is my shit? Oh yeah. Oh, that's right. Bloodborne doesn't give you your souls. And you can also just heal off of a dead corpse. So in Bloodborne, a person or enemy who... It's either two ways of getting your blood echoes back, souls back. It's either the traditional way of the old games, where it's lying on the ground if they can't find an enemy around the vicinity that killed you, or the enemy that killed you or an enemy around the area that you got killed from will be holding your blood echoes instead and consuming them until you defeat them and release it from their dead body. Beastly body. So that is how that works in Bloodborne. Alright, so blunderbuss is okay as long as we're close. I'm not used to using it. It almost looks like dragon dogs or some shit. There, but a lot of statues are interesting. You literally end up seeing some of these things later on in the old Hunters DLC. It's pretty interesting. If a door here has like a red lantern next to it, you can talk to him and you can hear him. Almost like they're transforming sounding. Madman is effective. Oh, the party over here? Oh, the party's over there.
Lads, you've come on. You'd open the door on a night of a hunt. Away with you, now.
Away with you, now.
Lads, you've come. Away with...
Hear a lot of crying. Or howling, even.
Are you that outsider? Well, sorry, but I don't want anything to do with you. Trot along, will ya? Are you that... Well, trot along...
Trot along, will you? Okay. So, what do we got here? So I have a cheat sheet of like all the things that you can do. Rest of the tomb. It's kind of weird. It says die or continue. It says collect starting gear and then use tombstone and warp back to first floor. Or if you ran past the central Yarnum. Find Gilbert to begin his quest line. Oh. Trying to remember like all the things with this cheat sheet here. It's kind of interesting. I never used it before. I'm curious how like accurate it is. Ambushes everywhere. Bloodstone shard. Our first one of the game. Imbued in weapon to fortify a solid shard that forms in cold blood. Child blood, what the fuck? After death, a substance in the blood hardens, and that which does not crystallize is called a bloodstone. At the workshop, these bloodstones are embedded in weapons to fortify them. Beware a beast. You get kind of a clear view there, right? A little bit anyways. Beast being engulfed in flames, and everybody's just crowding around having a good old time, just standing there looking at it menacingly. Party's ready. We're having a party down here. Quicksilver bullets. Year something. There's a whole lot of shit happening. Nothing but men here. Item up there in somebody's ass. Some other guys that I didn't kill down here. Can you not, please? God damn. Getting farmed out here because I don't have my saw cleaver anymore. The threaded crane, like I said, it's a cool weapon, but it's more of like the unique weapon. Just like the cool to use weapon versus actually being really effective and versatile. They saw me. Gotta be a little careful. You gotta like play a little smarter with this. Get over here. You're all going down. Surprised they're not doing anything. Usually they're aggro by now. Strategically taking everybody down one bit at a time. Oh, here's another thing about Bloodborne 2 that I forgot to mention, and that's the emotes. Here's another thing that maybe Bloodborne could have done a little better. So sometimes when you move the controller, just like randomly, just like doing whatever with it, so you know, just checking stuff out, and it's really hard to do when you're trying to do it on purpose, but when you're trying to do it on accident, this game does have motion sensor support, you know, because that was a big deal with the PS4 controller, right? Like the gyro support for that controller that everybody uses now, and the DualSense is like, you know, kind of does the same thing. It's really hard to do it, you know, and show it off on purpose, but you can always do it on accident, and that's trigger emotes in this game. So like you're just randomly just moving your controller around, whatever, you're doing something in the game, and all of a sudden, you know, you try to do a certain thing, and well, you're triggering emotes in the game. I don't know where it is exactly. I don't know how to. Oh, there you go. So you can do it manually, just like the old games, right? Because it has emotes, just like the old games. But as you can see down below, if you touch the left side of the touchpad, it tells you that, hey, look, you can put your controller like that, right? And supposedly you're going to point forward. Well, it's really hard to like do it on purpose. It's like you need to like fucking shake the shit out of this thing just to actually do it and show it off on purpose. But you know, in gameplay, you're just doing some random ass shit, and sometimes you move the controller around a little bit, and it's like, alright, here we go. Yep, fighting the boss right now, and all of a sudden you got an emote that plays out. And it's like, no! And it's always, most of the time it's the point one if somebody doesn't care about changing their emotes, because it's like the easiest one to do. Or you can do the, can we do the bow down? Unfortunately, I don't think this shit's working. Maybe it's not as sensitive. Oh yeah, the joy one too, when you just do a 360-degree turn for just no reason, and then also do all those things at the same time. So that's kind of an issue with this game. Now, thankfully, you know, if you buy the $200 DualSense Edge, you can solve all your problems with that by being able to reprogram a profile and turn off the touchpad entirely. Which means you're actually turning off the motion sensor stuff too, to some extent. And you kind of alleviate it from there, but that's about it really. Everything else is kind of the problem. Kind of a problem. Dead horse, of course. Somebody beating down on that. Hidden dog. Hidden gunman. I've never actually done this before like this. Usually you just kind of run past everything. You hear that too? Yeah, you hear a lot of the enemies. That's part of the reason why I was doing it. So you can hear a lot of the enemies talking to themselves. Like, it's pretty cool. Cold Blood Dew. That's why I was trying to like do it slowly there so you can actually hear it, but you got triggered. Another thing you can do too is like burn enemies as well. They run into the fire or something. There are a lot of fun things you can do in Bloodborne. Fun little things for the lulz that you can do in Bloodborne. And a nice little close-up there. That's the thing we were getting killed by earlier. Everybody's favorite Bloodborne mascot, apparently. Every time I see a Bloodborne spin-off or indie game or something, they always use the wolf. There's only one dog? I guess there's only one dog. I thought there was 2 dogs. we got do use to gain blood echoes. So it's kind of like the consumable to gain souls in older games. Droplet of cold blood containing blood echoes. Hunters sustained by the dream gain strength from blood echoes. They imbibe the blood with thoughts of reverence, indeed gratitude for their victims. Just like a literal pool. And you can go down there if you want. Got some laughing going on here.
I don't reckon you're from round here. Well, stuck outside on a night of the hunt.
Alright then.
Oh, you poor, poor thing. I don't reckon you're from round here. Well,
Top tier acting. It's not a fun, goofy, like acting in this game. The crows are actually the worst enemy in the game. Horrible. Oil urn. Here, music box. Urn that targets, or that covers target in oil when thrown. When this urn hits its mark, the target is drenched in oil and made extremely flammable. Fire is commonplace on the hunt, and oil urns accentuate its effect. Sometimes when hunters burn beasts, they appear intoxicated by the euphoria of purification. So the big-ass buff for that thing, and also fire paper, which is giving yourself fire damage on your weapon. So it's really good. Like, very, very good. Here, music box. Here's an asshole. Cool thing about Bloodborne is that even when you kind of mistime your parry, like we've done multiple times now, you can still get the parry. Look at the blood vial from his crotch. And now he's sleeping. Torch. Put that there. Common torch formed by wrapping a pine resin drenched cloth around the end of a long stick. Hunters choose torches not only because the hunt leads them to the darkest nooks, but also because certain creatures they encounter are possessed of a deathly fear of flame. Torch. And you do that. There you go. Torch. One time. More dogs. Close via device. And of course, we hear music. Oh god, I'm scared. Oh god, I'm trying to have fun and it's not working. So, Bloodborne dogs, they are the most overpowered dogs in any From Software game ever. They don't stop attacking. Like, they will keep attacking endlessly. Please don't kill me. This fucking cane, bro. I'm just not used to using this cane. You have to use it a certain way. You can't use it like a traditional saw cleaver or even an axe. Like it's very different. You gotta time your hits and you gotta dodge more with the cane. That's why a lot of people tend not to use it. but it is a cool weapon anyways. Yeah, dogs, they are endlessly attacking you in this game. They don't stop. Like, they don't pause sometimes. They are fucking bullshit. Bloodborne and Dark Souls 3 dogs, they are absurd. Because Dark Souls 3 is kind of similar. But this game's even worse. Like, the constant stunning. Like, you have to dodge. You have to, like, maneuver and run around and not let you get stun locked by that. Because it gets rough. Remember, fire! It's a cool view over there. Cool statues. You can't go that way. You can go this way. You get Pebble. This way leads to the sewers. Everything looks like Dark Souls 1. Kind of like interconnects with each other. Or maybe more like Demon Souls. Interconnects with each other, so we'll be down there eventually. Just a matter of when. Hello. That's impressive. You're over there. That's cute. Doing all right there? Okay, cool. No, now I'm stuck here too! Oh god! Get me out of here. I just want my heals. Well, that's unique. Some cool statues here. That's the place that we just cleaned up. Lure is effective. Go down there if you want. You can face a boss down there. This is technically like the first boss for a lot of people, right? Use our torch to light up dark environments. See? We would have never known about this ambush had it not been for this torch. Attack there is similar to something you would see in like Demon Souls. Open a nice little shortcut there. It's the wheelchair guy. Persian blood cocktail. When the hunt began, the healing church left us, blocking the great bridge to Cathedral Ward as old Yarnum burned to the ground that moonlit night. The moonlit night. We also got some blood cocktails. Mature blood cocktail that releases a pungent odor when thrown that attracts bloodthirsty beasts. A precious tool in sadly short supply. In Yarnum, they produce more blood than alcohol as the former is the more intoxicating. So, kind of lure enemies in there with that. Doesn't open from this side. Here, I can do that too. Just shard.
Across the valley, deep back.
There's definitely a sound that we heard. Alright, usually I don't go back, but there's some stuff that happens. So we must go back. We must check out the stuff. No, it doesn't happen yet. Okay, we'll just repair our stuff then. And increase some damage. I have 3 already? Oh, I do. Wow. Cool. And also we opened up a slot for our blood gem to be slotted in. Wheelchair man is gone. Yarnum is on a break. How much is this? You don't really need, you definitely don't need to buy this, but we'll do it for the playthrough. We already read the lore of it. It's just better in every way compared to this. And we can sell this later. And there you go, you can see my big old eyes. My big old eyes. There we go. So already got through the one part of this area. Now I'm all covered up and ready to go. With an upgraded weapon. Now I can 3-shot instead of 4-shot, hell yeah. These guys are really good sources of heals, and the wheelchair guy is a really good source of quicksilver bullets as well. So we can choose to go this way, or we choose to go this way. If we go that way, we face a boss. Go this way, we do other shit. Like not face a boss. A lot of cool things you can do in this game. In the beginning. Like, they give you a lot of freedom. So now you can go back to where you originally came from in case you fell down there on accident. Ah. It's not really smart to go down there yet. or here. So yeah, about the overpowered dogs. They have a whole section here of overpowered dogs. And if you don't kill them, a lot of them will be released, and it'll be very bad for you. And here's the wonderful dog right here. Nice. This dog is barking.
Well, do you know of any safe places? I've heard I have. Shutting up indoors isn't always enough. Well, if you once had got off your arses, you wouldn't be in this mess. You're obligated to help me, you hear? So what'll it be?
Ultimatum over here. So we are not here yet. We're definitely not here yet.
Yeah, I should have known. You're good for nothing. No respect for the elderly is what that is. That little good you outsiders do. Go on, admit it. You think we're all mad, don't you? Well, go and stop it. I know all your tricks. There wasn't a much better ways to pass the time, unless you found me a nice, safe place. Go on.
So this happens later in the game. You will experience different another area, like another big old hub section, kind of like you have here with the first room, floor hallway room that you spawn into the game with. That's like a little hub area to start off the area itself. So later on in the game, you'll go through multiple areas there, and you can actually take this NPC, come back here, and tell her you're safe in those particular areas. And she'll either live or die depending on where you take her, because one place is safe and one place is not. One place is safe if an NPC that you bring there or allow to keep there doesn't kill them either. So, some cool things that you can see from that, if you think about it, coming back here once you open up more of the game. It is time for rolling. Remember woman. New enemy. See, the statistics of the blunderbuss, it says that it does less. It says that it does less blood attack, but because it's more formed like a shotgun, it's actually dealing a little more damage than the traditional pistol. But you have to be very close. It deals that spread damage. Here we go. We can see like an overview of everything around here. And like the note says, remember woman. Body number 1. Wondrous quick weapon and wondrous exploiting species. Okay. getting shot. Remember a woman. Queen waits ahead. This starts off a very cool quest line in the game. Bro, you guys need to chill, dog. I wanted to play the foul note sound.
Oh. A hunter, are you?
Hunter.
And an outsider?
Hunter.
What a mess you've been caught up in. And tonight of all nights. Here, to welcome the new hunter.
Hunter. Bold hunter's mark.
Prepare yourself for the worst. There are no humans left. They're all flesh-hungry beasts now. Still lingering about?
Yep.
What's wrong? A hunter unnerved by a few beasts? No matter. Without fear in our hearts, we're little different from the beasts themselves.
Emu.
What are you still doing here? Enough trembling in your boots. A hunter must hunt. What are you still doing
Oh,
here?
there it goes. See? The emote with the motion
Enough
sensor.
trembling in your boots.
I just move my controller like that.
A hunter must hunt.
There you go. Told you. Earlier. You do it by accident. Bold hunter's mark. Dangling upside down rune etched in the mind of a hunter. Image upon this parchment allows one to envision the rune with clarity, allows a hunter to awaken again without losing blood echoes, a trick that seems nearly too good to be true. Because it is. It's a video game. We do fun things in the video game. Literally. Oops. Do we have the notes made here or no? We're at notes in.
What are you... Oh.
Here, I'll put a note right here. What we got? Fear. Wondrous. So what we got here? What do we have? Wondrous. This is when From Software still put in the fun words. Wondrous Queen. Oh my god, bro. Yeah, this is when you could still make the fun notes. There you go. There's my fucking gooner. There's my gooner note for everybody to read. Alright, here we go. So we have to go this way now, because he fell down here. We choose to either skip all this shit, or we can choose to engage with everything. I think the shooter guy is in this corner here. Where's he at? Or is he over there? I think he's in that corner. That corner. You found him. So usually what you would do is go over there and then drop down so that you just drop past everything. Time for bloodstones. game has a lot of like trolly shit. Like it's troll. It can be a troll if you're not careful. Can really mess you up. Also trying to remember like where all the items are. I'm trying to collect everything. I didn't think that was close enough. Didn't know if that was close enough, not gonna lie. God, I love the From Software, just ambient sound. It's just so like subtle. It's so simple, but it just works so well. Like it's unique. Ambient sound. Like when you listen to this ambient sound, this is a FromSoft game. You can hear the FromSoft ambience. It's like their signature air sound in their older games. Like it's still in this game. It's still in Bloodborne. It's in It's in Demon Souls too. Dark Souls 1 has its moments. They still kept it in Bloodborne. I'm very happy for that. Kind of altered it in Dark Souls 3, and then Elden Ring is just a whole bunch of shit. I'm always happy they left it in the game at some level. Oh god. Forgot about these fucking guys. The targeting is not as good as like other games after Bloodborne. Targeting is still a bit questionable sometimes. It has its moments. Bloodborne didn't fully figure out the targeting yet. That's why I'm missing a lot, because I'm used to like Elden Ring and the newer games. But it still gets the job done for like what it is. Go down there. Go over here. Also, durability can be a problem in this game if you're not careful. It's still really high. But if you're doing a lot at once, sometimes you can catch yourself being low on durability. Ah! Got a whole nother section over there, and that over there is an armor set. That's hell down there. That is literal hell. Wheel. For some reason they divide this, so I don't know. Just find it really fucking funny. Important item. Good old swamp. It's not poisonous. That's later. But it gets you warmed up for it. I saw this cool down here with the lamps. Little hidden rooms. Just nothing in it. It is interesting, I guess, if we go this way, huh? Not much happening if I go in this route. Got the random boats. Throwing knife. Madman's knowledge. And a nice important item here. Skull of a madman touched by the wisdom of the great ones, used to gain insight. Making contact with eldritch wisdom is a blessing, for even if it drives one mad, it allows one to serve a grander purpose for prosperity. Then we got a throwing knife here. Finally, serrated blade. One of the old hunter's Henrik's favorite weapons. Another notable guy. Does not cause a great deal of damage to beasts, but with deft use can distract attackers and keep them at bay. So, Madman's knowledge, pretty interesting. Because the insight mechanic in Bloodborne is also very interesting. And works in a certain way. So, insight also... Insight, I guess, is kind of like the... What? The world tendency, character tendency mechanic in Demon Souls. It's kind of like that a little bit, and that it's doing something. It's kind of like a gimmick to do something else in the game, to give it like some depth of the game, right? So you explore the world, you defeat bosses, and you gain the insight, which my webcam is blocking. It's like an eyeball on the right-hand side of my souls, or blood echoes. My hat can kind of show it off. But it's basically a way to change up the world as you defeat bosses and explore new areas. It's required to do certain things in the game. There's new enemies in areas where there was none before with the insight mechanic. Invisible things in the game that turn visible because of it. You have damage increases, defense increases, depending on what you're using with insight. You can do some resistance of certain, like, what is it? Resistance to certain elements. I think it's like frenzy or something. So yeah, like, that's really how insight works in Bloodborne. A lot more simplistic than like world tendency stuff. A lot more simplistic. It's a little more straightforward. It's not completely straightforward. Like it's confusing still. It still has to. You still have to really experiment and learn like what it's truly doing by playing the game or going on a fucking wiki page. But it is basically Bloodborne's version of like a gimmick mechanic to try and differentiate things in the in the game. Like really any Souls game has. You know, like Dark Souls 1 with the humanity stuff, although it's much more simplistic with that. It's like Dark Souls 3 and I forgot what it's officially called there. But it's very similar to stuff like that. Alright, let's go die to a rat. Exciting. Saw spear, this is a fun weapon. Saw spear is kind of similar to the saw cleaver. It's got strength bonus. So, one of the trick weapons of the workshop commonly used by those who dedicate themselves to the hunt. Saw effective at drawing the blood of beast transforms into a medium-range spear. The saw with its set of blood-letting teeth has become a symbol of the hunt and only grows in effectiveness the more grotesquely transformed the beast. So it even has like the same lore. And because we have no weight penalty, we just put it on. But it's very similar to a saw cleaver. The only difference is that it's a spear instead of a like the normal like blunt or whatever archetype it's officially called. I don't know. And it points versus it like stabs at the point tip. Still has similar movesets to the saw cleaver. Like this is the typical saw cleaver moveset, same transformation moveset. The only difference is when it's transformed. When it's transformed, it has different effects here. The first attack is really nice for range. You can hit something at a really long range with that, and do it again right there. This has a really good attack. Like a really good animations. We'll use it on these rats here. I gotta stop jumping. Use it on the rats. Boom, 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 boom. That's the attack I was scared about. Holy shit. Terrifying. Like, actually. That attack is so sketch. There we go. Roll over shit and pick up stuff. Good to go. Alright, what's this checklist doing now? So we've met Eileen, we need to find the daughter to get the tiny music box, which will be on the other side here. Cheat sheet seems to be kind of brief here. It says Central Yarnum here, right? But they don't talk about return to the lonely old woman? Direct her to the... Oh, they talk about directing her to the Cathedral Ward, okay. Cheat sheet is pretty cool. Like I said, it's like I said at the very beginning, before we started the game, like, Bloodborne has a lot of cool, like, preservation from the community. Like, cheat sheets, great wiki pages that are objectively true statements and facts of the game, objectively true statistics, and things that are not misleading, wrong, or filled in by parts of the community that misunderstand things, but they keep it there anyways on the wiki page. Like the popular one. Like the wiki pages for Bloodborne, very well thought out, proofread, and really well put together by parts of the community that really cared a lot about making sure that things they were putting on this wiki page is the objectively correct things of the game, so that people down the road, like 10 years from now, would play the game and be like, wow, let's check out the wiki page. Wow, this wiki page is really informative and says all the right things. Unlike Fuck Life, the main pages that we have to endure and painfully sort out now and manipulated Google searches for and view-botted for, so that they would be the sole wiki page, and killed all these other amazing wiki pages and killed off parts of the community. Thanks. Thanks. Bloodborne is some of the best, like, preservation in a FromSoft game, in my opinion. It was cool to be a part of it. It was cool to be a part of that time of seeing that take place in the community before it all went to shit. So you can hear the beast talking. No mercy for birds, yes. So cold.
Who are you? I don't know your voice, but I know
that smell.
Are you a hunter? Maybe it's where you look for my mum. Daddy never came back from the hunt, and she went to find him, but now she's gone too. I'm all alone and scared.
Fine girl's mother.
Really? Oh, thank you. My mum wears a red jeweled brooch. It's so big and beautiful. You won't miss it. Oh, I mustn't forget. If you find my mum, give her this music box.
Tiny music box.
It plays one of Daddy's favourite songs. And when Daddy forgets us, we play it for him so he remembers. Mum's so silly running off without it. My mum wears a red jeweled brooch. It's so big and beautiful. You won't miss it. Oh, and if you find her, give her this music box. Please, I know you can do it. My mum wears it. Oh, please.
So we got the music box. Tiny music box. Small box received from a young Yarnum girl. Plays a song shared by her mother and father. Inside the lid is a small scrap of paper, perhaps an old message. Two names can be made out, however, faintly. Viola and Gascoigne. Yeah, please.
My mum wears it. Oh, please.
So we get a nice little music box. A nice little music box. Is there somebody that can talk over there? Next to this door over here? Let's see. Yep.
Wretched outsider. Trying to fool me to open this door. Heavens, the depths of depravity. Wretched.
That means I'm an idiot that nobody wants to talk to. Alright, I'm gonna go this way. So there are a lot of different ways you can go, but you know where to get the items, like the extra items and stuff. In the sewer, I gotta go this way. Which is the long way, but I don't care, it's fun. Did all that. This is a dangerous way to go, I think. I feel like this is not a good way to go. Find out. Give me my heels. That was the wrong way. Hey, which way is it? Oh shit, I forgot which way to go. I should forgot where to go. What the fuck? Sorry fellas. I'm well on my way to go the other way now. remembering where to go. Wait, is it up here? Stop it. Why do I not remember where to fucking go, bro? What am I doing? Oh, here we go. It's over here. Ta-da! Go this way. It gives us really good shit. Thank you for dying. If you don't know how to parry, man, this section here is a pain in the ass. In your first part of the game, like first playthrough for me with this, one section of this beginning area here, but I had so much trouble trying to comprehend how to time my parry properly for some reason. I was getting my ass kicked by these three enemies down here. These three plebs. And then after this, it's not just this part here. Then you go down and face a bunch of fucking bullshit rats in the process of it, and then you face another one of them later. So it's a pretty dangerous area if you're not careful. Again, the threaded cane is cool, but you gotta be careful. You can't get too cute with this weapon because the moveset is not amazing. See, the throwing knives are really, they can be pretty decent in this game. As seen right there. Oh, I thought we burned them both. A couple of different ways of taking them down. Despicable ammo. Get some throwing knives back. Patience is key. Or what does it say in the trailer for PlayStation this year? Something about persistence is key or something? Yeah, persistence is key or whatever the fuck it said. See ya. Get out of my game. And there we have it. The main hunter gear. And it does some things a little better, but mostly things worse than the Arnhem set. One of the standard articles of hunter attire fashioned at the workshop, a fine piece of hunter attire that provides stable defense to anyone facing Yarnum's beastly threat. Recognizable by its withered feathers, the cap is fashioned after one of the old hunters. So, there's that. Does fire better, I guess. Frenzy resistance. A little better with that, I guess, with that thing. Allows one to stalk beasts unannounced by cover of night. Short cape to wipe away blood. This one does better physical defense, I guess. Okay. One to stalk beasts. There we go, the generic, ultra generic armor set of Bloodborne. And we don't have the saw cleaver, but saw spear is good enough. And there you go. You are now the main character of Bloodborne. You are the main cover art of Bloodborne. Works out. Actually does a lot of things worse. Arcane bolts, rapid, whatever. Keep that one on. Thrust. Damn. Actually does a lot better there. Boom, boom, boom. The beast hood is really useful if we're using the papers. Like, actually useful for using that. We'll do the generic Bloodborne armor set, I guess. Then I go down here. Now we can go down here. After we do some incredible platforming. I dodged, but okay. The fuck was that? Wow, there's no troll message here. See, the Bloodborne community is also not as trolly either. You know, the Bloodborne community has some integrity. You know? Not as many troll messages happening in every corner of the map. Everywhere. Literally everywhere. Beware of giant foe. This is where the thread of cane comes into play. A lot of these areas down here. Secret waits ahead. Oh, there's the Elden Ring player. That's where the threaded cane comes into play for stuff like that. It's good for, like, it can be really good for stun locks and whatnot. But you can stun lock anything in the game with just about any weapon. Nice. Screaming. Give me some items, ladies. Really? We've almost... Almost ready for the big moment. Versatile attack is effective. Almost ready for the big moment. $6K. So we can either go this way and literally skip everything. Alright. We can go down this elevator. We can go this way. Or go back down. Actually, we'll take the elevator, just in case something really bad happens. But that is a shortcut. That is indeed a shortcut. Or there's an item down there. Also, Bloodborne, like Dark Souls 2, allowed you to slide down ladders. That was not a given in the other games. Here we go, big boy. We didn't get the attack for the one. There we go. Butt attack! Saw Hunter badge, some dew, and heals. So, good old Saw Hunter badge. So it's a key item. Badge of a workshop, sanctioned hunter. Crafted long ago at the workshop, it attests to one's prowess at the hunter of beasts. The workshop is gone, and no group recognizes this meaningless badge except the messengers in the bath who understand its profundity. Certain things can be entrusted with a hunter in possession of this badge, or so they believe. That means it adds new items in the store. To keep it really simple. And here's a really troll thing here for some reason. Get the fuck out of here, bro. Get the fuck out of here, bro. Because that's important to put in the game. Alright, so we have options now. We indeed have options. Things are... People are running. There they go. What's up, bud? A lot of cool things about parrying in Bloodborne. You can do some really, really cool shit with parries in Bloodborne. That's one of them. You don't have to just parry one specific attack of the enemy. Like, they can do like multiple attacks. It's also one of the few enemies in the game that don't get stunned off normal attacks either. So like, that's something you can realistically do. Parry like a secondary attack or something. So we have a couple different avenues to take. We can go this way and fight our first main boss of the game. We can backtrack, since we essentially have done almost everything. And use this ladder here, or elevator here. And go back and check out other stuff. Or fight the secondary boss. The optional boss here. Because this game has optional bosses and main bosses, so you can go in a couple different directions if you so choose. Wait, can do this. Thank you. Ow. Oops. I gotta tell you, it's been a while since I played this. And, as far as I'm even parrying a lot of these things pretty well. There's nothing over here. It's just these two enemies that are annoying. I don't think the doll has shown up yet. Oh wow, man, we took a long ass journey. This is a damn curse.
Across the valley to deep.
Alright, he's still yapping. Alright, I think we did mostly everything. Just about everything. I wish I had an item cheat sheet, but I don't. I wish I did. Maybe we can see the items here. So we got blood cocktails, throwing knives. Then we have all the standard weapons here now from the hunter badge. And the pistol, which I might buy. I think I'm gonna buy the pistol, honestly, because this blunderbuss scares me. And you can sell items if you want. So all those. Give me my 11 souls. 10 of these now. Then you can switch back to the hunter pistol if you want. So a little more direct there. I think we're gonna use the hunter pistol because blunderbuss scares the hell out of me. Really gotta repair these weapons. It's really important. For just no reason. Alright, cool. Definitely repairing this. You don't really need to upgrade your pistols if you don't want to. But, especially if you're just gonna use it for, just for, you know, parrying or whatever. It's pretty good, as is. Yeah. Does he remember? No. Let's put the tiny music box there. Put the notebook there. Alright. I'll be right back. I'll take a little break here. Thank you all for watching. Really do appreciate it. We'll do some more Bloodborne fighting bosses. And continuing forward after the first area. So I'll be back in a couple of minutes. Thank you all. Really do appreciate it. Okay, I am back. Took a longer break than anticipated, but it's fine. It's fine, I had to do some things real quick. I'm good. Alright, am I good? Is this thing good? My thing good? I guess? I don't know. Alright, here we go. Bosses. Good old boss time. Let's do it. Let's do the boss. So we did mostly everything there. Just almost picked up every item that I can think of anyways. Got all the NPCs. Started up some of the side quests. So now it's time to fight shit. Time to fight shit.
I must leave.
So let's do it. I didn't know if he was gonna do that. Here we go again. Alright. Ready to rock. So usually, this isn't really the best idea to start here. You really should fight the first main boss and then come back here. But we'll just do it all in order. So without further ado, put on the blunderbuss for this first area. Without further ado, Cleric Beast. For a lot of people, I mean a lot of people, this is their first boss in the game. And the reason why I say that it'd be cool to wait is because you get an item for online play, and also you level up for the first time after you beat Father Gascoigne, the first main boss. You get some other things. But you can struggle over here if you want. You get something for it, obviously. So let's go. First main boss. Alright, cool. Apparently I don't know how to dodge anything. Apparently I don't know how to dodge anything at all. Nice. Great first attempt. Incredible. Hey, look it, the doll's alive. Hello, doll. So, this is a thing. I believe if you die for the first time, which is now, right now, the doll wakes up, I believe. That's how it works. Hello.
Hello, good hunter. I am a doll, here in this dream to look after you. Honorable hunter, pursue the echoes of blood, and I will channel them into your strength. You will hunt beasts, and I will be here for you to embolden your sickly spirit.
Channel blood echoes. Use blood echoes to raise stats and level up.
Let the echoes become your strength. Let me stand close. Now shut your eyes.
Shut your eyes. Shut your eyes. You're not shutting your eyes. So she doesn't talk like Demon Souls, but she does grab you still.
Did you speak with Gehrman? He was a hunter long, long ago, but now serves only to advise them. He is obscure, unseen in the dreaming world. Still, he stays here, in this dream. Such is his purpose.
Everything's so uncomfortable. This fucking headset.
Ah, the little ones, inhabitants of the dream. They find hunters like yourself, worship and serve them. Speak words they do not. But still, aren't they sweet?
Oh, I have one insight, don't I? Where did I get the insight at? Oh, I got the insight from walking into the cleric beast, I think, boss room.
Ah,
that's what it is. She
ones,
becomes alive by
inhabitants of the
giving
dream.
you, by giving
They
yourself
find
one
hunters
insight
like
through
yourself,
Madman's knowledge, or
worship and serve them.
going into a different area of the game,
Speak
which
words
naturally
they do
gives
not.
you insight.
But still, aren't they sweet? Ah, they find hunters like yourself. Speak words they do not. Farewell, good hunter.
May you
find your worth in the waking world.
Accept gift. Consume insight and ring the beckoning bell to enlist the cooperation of hunters from other worlds. Silencing blank ends such forms of co-op. There is your co-op item. I wonder if we should do it. Like, I wonder if there's anybody online. So, but every time you want to do co-op in the game, you have to use insight. So that's why Madman's knowledge is big. You know, entering areas is big. There is, like, good reasons to not have any insight. Because sometimes insight will make things worse in the game for you. Like, there's a particular gimmick fight that will not spawn in ads, pretty much, in the fight if you have 0 insight. If you have 1 insight, the gimmick boss will spawn in other enemies that you'll have to fight off along the way in the boss. Stuff like that. So, like, it's actually cool to use your insight if you want to do, especially if you want to do a co-op. Great old bell discovered in the underground labyrinth. Its ring resonates across worlds, and the first hunter used it as a special signal to call hunters from other worlds to cross the gap and cooperate. A human must use insight to ring this uncanny bell, but the benefits of cross-world cooperation are many. Hunters are linked by the resonance of bells with special encoded timbres. This inaudible burst disrupts such resonance. Fire to end cooperation and prevent further cooperation. Firing this does not disrupt the resonance of a sinister bell. Which means that is invasions. Consume insight and ring the old hunter bell to enlist the cooperation of old hunters. Old hunter bell. This was added after the launch of the game. As like a... Where's that? Oh, here it is. This is added after the launch of the game, post-launch, to basically support the feedback from people that they wish they had like NPCs to spawn into the game to fight bosses. So there's particular NPCs, aka old hunters, and certain bosses to spawn in for particular fights, but you have to consume insight to do it every time. One of the resonating bells across the gaps of worlds. The bell is cracked and stained with the blood of beasts. A human must expend insight to ring this uncanny bell. The old hunters who have long passed from the dream but cannot forget the feeling of the hunt rely upon messengers to relay their thoughts. Ring the bell at their side and they are certain to give a listen, for the night of the hunt is long and unchanging. Yerman chilling somewhere now? Yeah, you don't care. You don't give a shit. Where's he over here? Where's your old ass? Is this old ass man anywhere? I don't think he ever comes over here. Alright, let's go get our shit back. Let's go get our stuff back and not suck. Excuse me, old man. Excuse me, everybody. And now you also can see the fog wall of the game. And you can see through it. Just like Demon Souls a little bit, but not as clear. Hey. Oh, what's up, man? What's up, boy? That is not what I thought you were going to do. Fighting bosses with this Cade is so funny. Soundtrack. Fucking baller. Good sun enemies. That's healing. He also has like different movesets as he like evolves. It's kind of annoying sometimes. Because he can animation cancel. You know, like a bunch of different things. Forgot about that. That's a grab. What? Oh, fuck off! How am I not dodging that? Why am I not dodging that? Oh my god, bro. I'm just trying to showcase your fucking fight, Cleric Beast. I'm just trying to showcase you off, brother. And you're bitching. And you're bullshitting me with that. Wee. Alright, Beast, fun time's over, pal. Fun time is over, buddy. You got your shots in now, but here I come. Showcasing's over. Time to get the spear and fucking get to work. That attack is bullshit! am I jumping? Hey! This fucking boss is so goddamn annoying. I don't have the opposite shit. I dodged! I dodged it! What? What? What do you fucking mean, bro? Dog. Dog. Big ass dog. What are you doing? Hit me. Oh my god. That is so infuriating. I was actually dodging. I was fucking dodging. This is why you don't fight cleric beasts right away. That's why you wait and level up and get your fire paper and fucking get your beast pellets and go to town. Stun locking them instead. Not a fair fight. Bullshit. Bitch, get the fuck over here. Now you hop over there. What is wrong with you? Oh my god. So basically what we're doing there is that we're actually stunning him. We're stunning him with a stun mechanic. Okay, that's... Bloodborne introduced that. That stun mechanic that everybody loves in Dark Souls 3 and Elden Ring and all that, Sekiro as well. Fuck out of here. Get me out of here. Fuck off, you piece of shit. Sword Hunter badge. Alright, so welcome to Bloodborne. Bloodborne, we literally talked about it before we started the game. Introduced a lot of RNG enemy attacks and boss fights. So Cleric Beast is a great example of this. Cleric Beast has a lot of attacks that could just sort of randomly happen, even when you're around the enemy, or like his character model on certain sides or whatever. He's more likely to do certain attacks if you're on a certain side of him versus others, but a lot of it is fairly random. And Cleric Beast does a lot of that stuff. Cleric Beast does animation cancels into other attacks entirely. So that is a very good example of like the kind of things that you're going to experience in Bloodborne is through Cleric Beast, kind of showcasing it, showcasing some of the things that you end up seeing at a much greater scale later on in the game. So it's actually a really good showcase. I like those things that you'll end up experiencing and seeing. Some of that was a little bullshit though. because he was literally hitting me while I was dodging.
Welcome. What is it?
Especially that last death I just had. That
Very
was
well,
legitimately fucking bullshit. Like, oh my fucking god, that's so BS. So, upgrading stamina is not something that you really should be doing. Mainly because you get runes for it later, and you don't really need to. Like, it's pretty worthless. We could go melee. We can do arcane. Did they just tell you like what it is? Oh, there you go. So it tells you all the things here. Needed to ring special bell, but induces frenzy. Stamina resistances, heavy physical weapon attack determines whether or not you can use certain equipment. Physical weapon, it says nuanced physical weapon attack. Governing power weapons that use quicksilver bullets determines whether or not you can use certain equipment. Governing power of arcane attack. Doesn't say anything about discovery. The higher this tribute, the closer you are to beasthood when temporarily transformed, so you can transform in this game. Basically does like more damage to beasts and whatnot. Governs chances of enemies dropping items when defeated. The higher this tribute, the more you will find. I really want to do something with arcane. I'm gonna leave it out for now. I just don't remember like when you get like certain items. 6, 8, 10. We'll do that. We'll do that. There we go.
Farewell, mate.
And then we also got a hunter badge. Sword hunter badge. Swordsman hunters under Church's blessing, so that's basically the reward that we got for defeating Cleric Beast. When the badge is crafted by the Healing Church, sword is a symbol of a church hunter. Ludwig was the first of many healing church hunters to come, many of whom were clerics. As it was, clerics transformed into the most hideous beasts. So Ludwig again. With this, we get antidotes, medicinal pellets that counteract poison. We need that. Use to treat ashen blood, the baffling sickness that ravaged old Yarnum long ago. These tablets only provide short-term relief. The ashen blood element eventually triggered the spread of the beastly scourge. And then we have hand lantern. Use weapon in both hands while illuminating the dark. Small portable lantern. This hunting accessory provides light while leaving both hands free to hold weapons. The torch, however, provides a much stronger source of light. So if you want to use one or the other, I guess. We do buy this at some point. Just for the hell of it. Hunter Chief Emblem. Key to the gate to the Grand Cathedral's round plaza. A cloth emblem that belonged to the captain of the church hunters long ago opens the main gate that leads to the round plaza of the Great Cathedral. This is optional. You do not have to buy this, but it gives you access to somewhere that you can get through another place later on. It's just an easier way of getting in the ground plaza of the Grand Cathedral. The main gate is shut tight on nights of the hunt and could only be opened from the other side with this emblem. In other words, the captain's return and this emblem determine the end of the hunt. And then we have Kirkhammer, which is a really fun weapon to use. A trick weapon typically used by the healing church hunters. On the one side, an easily handled silver sword. On the other, a giant obtuse stone weapon characterized by a blunt strike and extreme force of impact. Church takes a heavy-handed, merciless stance toward to plague beasts and irony not lost upon the wielders of this most symbolic weapon. This is a really fun weapon to use. Really fun strength weapon to use. It's one of the coolest weapons in the game, in my opinion. Like, it's a genuinely, like, cool-ass weapon to use. We got repeating pistol now. So now we got 3 of these things. This one has 91 but 80 durability and 2 quicksilver bullets per use. And you need 8 blood tinge and 10 strength for it. So typically used by healing church hunters, crafted with mostly metal parts and exhibiting a complex design. The repeating pistol fires 2 shots at once, making it a ravenous consumer of Quicksilver bullets should be used sparingly compared to his workshop counterpart as a trump card in one's arsenal. Looks pretty cool. Don't use it too much, to be quite honest with you. Like, it's okay. It has its use. It's definitely like gimmicky weapons in the game, I guess. It's like, it's cool to use. It's like a change of pace when you're playing the game a lot, maybe. Or you just want to use something different. You want to use something cool. Something unique. Alright, cool. Old man here yet? I think we have to defeat Father Gascoigne. Or to get him to like spawn in. Alright, where should I go exactly? I always find it interesting. Like, you can hear the doll breathing. She breathes very heavily. Go here, I guess. Alright. Now for Father Gascoigne. So we're almost done with the first section of the game. Almost done with Central Yharnam. So that was the Great Bridge. That we just went up on for Cleric Beast. I don't know if anything progresses here after we do that.
Yes, I see.
There you go.
But the Great Bridge is the only way to the Cathedral Ward. And during the hunt, the bridge is closed. You could try the aqueduct. There's a rather, how shall I put it, colourful area south of the Great Bridge. From there, an aqueduct leads to the Cathedral Ward. Not a place you'd normally want to visit, but I don't imagine you have much of a choice, do you?
So that comes up after we, I think, just go on the Great Bridge. I don't know if you have to beat Cleric Beast for it.
An aqueduct leads from the town south of the main bridge to the Cathedral Ward. Not a place you'd normally choose to visit, but not much of a choice with the bridge closed.
So that's what, kind of like the whole design, probably, most likely, at least my interpretation, is that door that's locked behind Cleric Beast, like, leads to the Cathedral Ward, as he says. Like when enemies fall over in this game. So where should I go for this? The ladder this way? So there's a way to farm, like, items here if you want. Farm. It's really easy to farm, like health items, blood vials, all that stuff. It is supremely easy to do that in Bloodborne. We good? Yep. The items down here. Anything else to look at around here before we move on? It's kind of cool, like, that is the, I believe, the church that we're going to? Maybe? Unless I'm looking at it the wrong way. So you have like a version of like what you're seeing over there versus another version that's a little more higher res with the actual enemies and whatnot there. Shortcut. That's mostly everything in this area. And if it's not everything, it's almost just about everything. It might as well just be everything. I'm jumping again. My controller lasts a lot longer without vibration. Little different with the threaded cane. Alright, so you're thinking like, alright, here we go. Ready to face the boss, right? It's like, oh shit. Wait a second here. You gotta fight 2 enemies to get an item here. There's another bull hunter's mark. And here we frickin' go. So in Bloodborne, when you get to a boss room, you do not have a fog wall. Instead, you have an open area. This is how they start a boss fight in Bloodborne. Some bosses have fog walls, like in a DLC or something, or here in the main game, but a lot of the main bosses are pretty much opened. You kind of walk in the area first, and then they do the thing. Can you use this? Like, yeah, you can. This is my first real boss in a From Software game. This boss is awesome. Like, just genuinely a really good boss. But when we're talking about starts of a From Software game, or just start of a video game in general, and this is the boss to kind of put your skill check in place, to teach you things, teach you more mechanics, get you more acclimated with the mechanics. Like, this boss is truly excellent. It's one of the best in From Software games, and yeah, it's the first main one in this game. Like I said at the beginning of the game, like, the beginning of this game is truly excellent. It's really, really good. They do a really outstanding job with the first impression of this game.
Beasts all over the shop. You'll be one of them, sooner or later.
Here we go. He's just like us. I want to parry him. I want to show it off. It's cool. Mostly because of that. Excuse me. Hey! I want to look around, it's cool. I also want to play out the soundtrack, it's fun. His boss room is insanely large. And he just runs around and does whatever. So fucking cool.
What's that smell? Sweet blood. Oh, it seems to me it's enough to make a man sick.
he goes. Ow. Hey! Hey! Let me have fun. I love how he fucking runs. You come over here. There you go. Good old music box. Phase 2. Fight. That fucking soundtrack, dude. It's so amazing. God damn it, I overleveled. Odin Tomb Key. There you go. Sick. Red jeweled brooch. I wonder if there's anything else that happens in a hunter's dream. I am not sure.